welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today we're going to be taking a look at a puzzle called Campfire by Nihilian. Now, Nihilian is fast becoming one of my very favourite setters. Incredible. Every puzzle I've done by them has been absolutely amazing. And this one apparently is something that, is almost transcends belief in terms of how clever it is. We've had this recommended about 8 times to give you an idea since it's been released. I'm not sure how old it is, but I think it's fairly new. And I love the idea of it being called Campfire. You can see actually it does look like a campfire. Even to me, who struggles to see pictures in grids, this does look like a fire. So we'll have a go at this in just a second. Few things to tell you about first. Thanks so much, by the way, if you joined us for the stream last night of Escape Simulator. I have to say it was probably Mark and I's worst performance ever. We were dreadful at that game, absolutely dreadful. We were talking about it before I just turned on the webcam to do this video about how illogical many of the puzzles seem to us. We're just not on the same wavelength as the creators of that game at all. But we did have a blast, and we hope that you enjoyed us being utterly stumped. We tend not to show those videos on the channel, but yesterday's live stream, there was nowhere to hide. Now, anything else to mention? Yes, I do have some things to tell you about. Firstly, this, which is quite exciting for those of you who like competing in Sudoku tournaments. There is a it's the qualifier for the German Championship coming up on February the 4th to the 7th. And that's next weekend, I think. And there are some incredible constructors. So look at some of these puzzle authors here. Nitchant Agarwal, I'm sure you're familiar with him. We've done some of his puzzles on the channel. Thomas Fink, Stefan Heine, Richard Stolk, Wilbert Svart, and of course Philip Bloomer, better known as Glum Hippo in the Sudoku world. So yeah, there are some absolutely mighty constructors producing puzzles for this one. So definitely check that out if you want to either do some good puzzles or if you want to compete with some of the world's best. That will be up your street. Now, the other thing to mention is we are closing in on the 1st of February. Now we've got what we're calling quite approachable Sudoku hunt for you over on Patreon. So on the 1st of February at 4 p.m, that should be accessible. And what we've done is we've themed each of the puzzles in the hunt around one of our app types. So, there's a killer Sudoku, there's an arrow Sudoku, there's a miracle Sudoku, etc. You get the idea. And if you can make your way through all of them and figure out what you have to do at the end, pop us an email and you'll be in with a chance of winning the prize. So we've tried to make this one deliberately not as difficult. We had the pyramid puzzle hunt, which was fantastic, but not only did it contain a lot of puzzles, some of the puzzles were quite challenging. And then Peter C Hayward's Star Wars Sudoku hunt, which was absolutely magnificent as well, but that was really difficult. And we know that. So we've tried to make the puzzles a little bit more accessible for this one, so that everyone should be able to get through it. And the other thing we've got loads of extra content on Phistomefel, on Patreon at the moment. Things are merging in my brain, but that includes Phistomefel stuff. So Mark's solve of the most recent Phistomefel puzzle. I'm going to put my solve of that puzzle up as well. I still haven't got around to doing that, sorry. That will be up there momentarily. We've got Mark's latest cryptic crossword solve, my solve of Phistomefel's Fillomino Aquarium puzzle, and all sorts of other things as well. It really is. It genuinely is the best Sudoku club on earth. And we do try and say thank you to those of you who support us there. We really do appreciate it. It helps keep the channel going. Now, all that said and done though, let's get on with Campfire by Nihilian. I'm looking forward to trying this. It is rare to see such absolutely, unadulterated praise from everyone who's tried this. So the rules are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. For each line, digits on that line have an equal sum within each box the line passes through. Okay, so this is one of my favourite of the sort of innovative rule sets that we have on the world Sudoku scene. There are loads and loads of rules coming out all the time, loads of new ideas for constructors. I think this one has such amazing legs. I want to make an app at some point that features this rule set, because it's just such a clever idea. So what this is telling us, let's look at the sort of mountain. I suppose this is the firewood region at the bottom. What we're being told is that in this box, you can see there's just 2 cells on this line. So whatever those two cells sum to has to be the same as whatever those 3 digits, which are all of the line's digits in box 8, sum to. So those 3 cells add up to the same as those 2 cells, add up to the same as those 2 cells. So we get little equations blooming throughout the grid. And yeah, this I think lends itself to geometry, it lends itself to beautiful logic, and we should be in for something special. Now, cells separated by a white dot contain consecutive digits, so those 2 squares have to be consecutive, which means if that's a 1, that has to be a 2, for example. If this is a 3, this has to be a 2 or a 4. So that's how white dots work. Cells separated by a black dot contain digits in a 1:2 ratio. So those cells there, imagine this was a 2. This cell either has to be a 1 because 2 is double 1, or it has to be a 4 because 4 is double 2. We have to make sure that one of the digits in the domino is double the other one. That's the way to think about black Kropke dots. Do have a go at the puzzle. The way to play is to click the link under the video, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, let's get cracking. As I was doing the example there, I was thinking that this line configuration didn't look immediately interesting to me, so we probably have to use other lines. Although that's interesting. That line actually has exactly the same sort of properties vis-a-vis the equal sums rule as this line. It's got a middle string of 3 digits, which could sum to a minimum of 6, and then two digits here, 2 digits here. It's the same as here, 2 digits, then 3 digits, then 2 digits. So this is, it's not quite symmetrical, is it? The top of this one is a bit differently designed to the top of this one, but it's the same principle. We've still got 2 digits, 3 digits, 2 digits again. 4 digits here. So the 4 digits here would sum to at least 10 if we made these 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this domino here must add to at least 10, as must this one. Or maybe we've got to actually... yeah, okay. I think we have to combine. We've got to combine our lines, don't we? Because that's going to give a much more meaningful restriction to these 4 cells. So what do I mean by that? Well, if we look at all the line cells in box 4, there are 7 of them. So these 7 digits all clearly have to be different. They're all in the same box of the Sudoku. The triangular number for 7 is 28. i.e. what is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7? Well, it's 28. So these digits have to add up to at least 28. Oh, I see. I was about to say the problem is, though, that we could actually make these digits add up to as much as 34, because we could go something like this, 9898. But no, we can't when you consider that we've got to combine that with the same effect in box 6. These digits have to add up to at least 28 as well. There's 7 cells there. So these have to add up to at least 28. So these together have to add up to at least 56. But if I go for 9898 again, is that going to give me a problem with these? Oh, sorry, I keep doing that. I don't know what button it is. I'm pressing the Windows button or something. Now this would be a 6767 as a maximum, which would be 1326. No, 26 is less than 28. So so these are interacting. There is pressure. We can't stack all the high digits on one side of our campfire. We've got to make the fire burn evenly. But the problem here is that we do have degrees of freedom. Because, well, what's the maximum I could make these digits add up to? If I put 6, 7, 8, and 9 into the fire cells, the tips of the fire, and 6, 7, 8, 9 in that row as well, we'd have 6, 7, 8, 9 is 30, plus another 30, that's 60. So 60 is the theoretical maximum. and 50, what did I say, 56 was it? 56 is the theoretical minimum. 28 and 28, yeah, 56. So we've got several degrees of freedom. But hang on, I can't make these both. Like if I put a 9 in here, I now can't put a 9 in here at all, and that's going to affect the maximum size. It's going to push a 9 onto the lines in here. So I probably have to, maybe we've got to not think about the fire and think about the gaps in the fire. So the maximum size of those 4 digits is 30. The maximum size of those is 30. So the minimum size of these cells, because of the secret, is 60. Oh, that's it. Right, that's so beautiful. It's such a simple idea. Right, so let me explain what we're doing here. We're using the secret. Of course we're using the secret. And the secret is something I only tell my favourite people. But the secret is that any complete box of a Sudoku, if you add up the digits in it, will add up to 45, because it will be the digits 1 to 9 once each. So let's remember that box 4 plus box 6 is 2 lots of 45, which is 90. Now, what's the maximum I can put into those cells there? Well, the absolute maximum would be a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. Now that adds up to 30. That means the minimum these cells add up to, the rest of those boxes add up to, is 90 minus 30, which is 60. That's the minimum I can make the blue cells add up to. But the blue cells must have the same count as the tips of the fire up here, and they have a maximum value of 60 again, with 2 lots of 6, 7, 8s and 9s in both rows. So actually this is forced. This is absolutely what this has to look like. And we're going to make fire. Look, I'm making fire. I'm going to label the high digits here. Well, I can't label these ones because I don't know where in each box. I don't know where the other high digits go. But these are all definitely 6, 7s, 8s and 9s. Actually, maybe I should go back to colouring actually the whole grid. What I mean by that is I'm wondering whether we've got to keep track of digits that are 6, 7, 8, 9 and digits that are not 6, 7, 8 and 9, because these cells, in fact all of that box, look, those cells, these cells, all of those cells I've just highlighted, they can't be high digits because they see a quadruple of 6, 7, 8, 9. This T pentomino here sees 6, 7, 8, 9 in its box. These cells all see 6, 7, 8, 9s in their rows. Same with these. So we've nearly well, I can see we've nearly got a quadruple in column 8. What do we do now? So I know that. How do we think about this? Sorry, I'm being slow here. I'm just trying to work out how I can. I want the left side and the right side. I want to know what the left side of the fire adds up to and what the right side of the fire adds up to. Because at the moment they're sort of joined together. So I can't work out what those 4 cells must add up to, because these could be as little as 13 or as much as 17. Right, it's not something to do with the dots, is it? So I know that these are both blue dots, so these are from 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and they have to be consecutive. No, that doesn't look helpful, does it? I know that whatever that adds up to, that must always add up to. But again, yeah, the thing is, that could, if that was 6 and 7, what's to stop that being 6? Oh no, that couldn't be 6 and 7 because of... Oh, right, okay, yes, I understand. Right, so what we have to do here is to note that these digits are all different. Clearly, that is a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. So if we look at the orange cells in row 2 and row 3, what are these cells? Well, because that's a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple, and we know that in these two rows we have two lots of 6, 7, 8, 9. These cells here, I'll give them a yellow flash. These yellow flash cells are also a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. And if they're a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple, their sum is 30. But if their sum is 30, what are these cells? Those must also sum to 30. Because that's the rules. Whatever these digits sum to has to be duplicated along their equal sum lines. So if this is x plus y, these cells have also got to sum to x plus y. And as they're a total maximum, they're a 30, they've also got to therefore be 6, 7, 8, 9. We might not know the order of them, but that's what they have to be. So they get oranged. That's the result of that. So our fire is coming down the grid a bit further. I'm quite pleased I chose yellow for those, actually. That makes it look even more fiery. And we can do some more blues in the gaps. Oh, look, yes, and we've got blues filling column 8 now. We've got the 4 high digits. Now, what do we do now? I'm tempted. Well, I can do something with this crop key dot, actually. Oh yeah, this is a beautiful idea. Right, okay, column 9, that's where we're going to look. Because I've got 4 blue digits in column 9. Now the blue digits are the digits 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. So they're low digits. Let's think about the options for this crop key dot. Now one option, in fact, let's deal with both of the interesting options. One option is 1 and 2. Well, these would be 2 blue digits, and that's 6 blue digits in the column. That's impossible because we couldn't fit the high digits in if we do that. What about, oh, whoa, I didn't mean to do that. What about 2, 4? Well, these are 2 blue digits as well. That gives us exactly the same problem. So this black crop key dot down here must have a high digit on it, is what I think we're saying. And therefore it's either 3, 6 or 4, 8. And therefore the rest of this column, because there's one low digit now in this crop key dot, one blue digit, the rest of the column gaps must be orange digits. So we've got one orange digit here and the rest of the orange digits there. Now look, now I've got all 4 orange digits in box 6, so those turn blue. That turns orange. So we've got 2 oranges and a blue along here. We've got, I'm not sure what else we've got. We've got 2 oranges on that line, which looks like it's going to be quite tricky to do. And we've got a blue dot. We've got blue here, sorry, next to, on a dot. So if this, for this not to be blue, it has to be 6, because this would have to be 5. So in order for this not to be blue and to be orange, there would only be one option for the cell. Now if I was Mr. Pencil Mark, I would label this cell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, but I don't think I can bear to do that. What else can we do? Can we do anything with that one? No. Oh, hang on, we know that... Hang on, yeah, we know this domino is the sum of 4 low digits. So this domino can't be that big. If we max these low digits out, that would be 5, 4, 3 and 2. That's 14. So this can't add up to more than 14, so it can't have a 9 in it. That's very clever. So there's no 9 in this domino. Oh, I see. Okay. So it must and it must have a 6 in it. That's the corollary of that. If it doesn't have a 6, it's a 7-8 pair, and that would make this impossible to fill. So there's a 6 in here. So there's no 6 in there, but there is a 9 in here. So this string of digits, therefore, we don't really know. We don't really know, do we? That was 9, 8, 17. We would know that there would have to be a high digit in there. In fact, maybe that's the point, is it? Yeah, this has to be at least 16. So there does have to be a high digit in this string of digits. And is it exactly one high digit? If there were 2 high digits in here, then this string of digits would add up to a minimum of 6 plus 7 plus 1 plus 2 is 16. I know you can do that. So that could be 3 low digits. Oh, bobbins. Okay, sorry. I'm suspicious about that. It doesn't feel to me likely that that's got 2 high digits on it, given that that's only 2 high digits itself. But it might be possible. So where else do we look? With this crop key dot I've not thought about, but the thing is, column 1, it's really actually very interesting. The puzzle is incredibly symmetrical, and by that I mean if we were to draw a line down the middle of column 5, you could fold the puzzle over and most of everything would hit the same thing, on both sides. These would reflect onto each other, these would reflect onto each other, this line would reflect onto itself. The only difference is in the top of the fires here. But it does seem to have quite a big effect on how much we can do in column 9 versus how much we can do in column 1. It's another of these puzzles, a bit like yesterday, where you can see it's just been put together incredibly cleverly. So maybe we've got to think about this domino then. So is that a sensible idea? Hang on, let me just think about this. If this was minimized, if that was a 6, 7 and that was a 1, that would be 14, right? Okay. So this domino here has to add up to at least 14, and this domino here has to add up to at least 14. But they have to add up to the same. Hang on. They have to add up to the same thing using the same digits. Does that mean they have to both add up to 15? Is that crazy? That might be true. Oh, I hope this is true. This is a beautiful idea. What I'm thinking is that if these added up to 14, which is the minimum they could add up to, then this would have to add up to 14 and this would have to add up to 14. But given the options that we have to select digits from, which are only high digits, there is only one way to do that in a domino, and that's with a 6-8 pair. But that would mean that all of those digits have to be 6 and 8, and that will not work. We will definitely get a repeated digit in column 8. So I don't think this can ever add up to 14. Now, by the same token, if we go for a digit, if we say these add up to 16 or 17, we have exactly the same problem, because the only way of making those totals in a domino is one way. You can only make 16 with 7, 9, so we'd have 7 9s in all of those 3 cells. If this was 17, these 3 cells were 17, you'd only have 8, 9 in those 3 cells. Again, you're having to repeat a digit. But if these add up to 15, then you can make this the 15 total with, say, a 7, 8 up here and a 6, 9 here. And it will work. You don't have to repeat a digit. So I think that's forced. That adds up to 15. Now, if it adds up to 15, Yeah, oh, this is, I mean, this is the sort of thing that just makes me shake my head with admiration. I mean, it's ridiculous, this is. This is ridiculous setting. This is setting that is Phistomefelian in its conception and execution. It's just beautiful. It really is, because, okay, these have to add up to 15 now. We know that. So thinking about the two high digits, what digit are we going to have to include in this domino? We're going to have to include a 6, because if we don't, the minimum value of this domino is 7 plus 8, which is 15 already. I can't put 0 into this square. But if there's a 6 in here, there's no 6 on the black dot, so that becomes 4, 8, which tells us that this domino can't be 7, 8, and has to be 6, 9. This is, I mean, it's just stunning. And now, well, yeah, now we know what this domino is, because it can't have 8 in it. And yet it can't add up to 15. That domino cannot add up to 15 on its own, so it's not 6, 9. So it must be 6, 7, and that must be a 2. And that's our first digit. The first digit in this puzzle is a 2 in row 6, column 9. And it's one of the most wonderful digits that we've probably ever shown on the channel. So that's a 2. That is now an 8-9 pair, which means that must be a 6-7 pair. This must be a 7-8 pair. That's quite interesting. 7s, look, are locked into those cells. So we can't put 7 in any of those 6 cells. So the 7 in column 1 is either here or in the corner. So that's not a 7. 4, 8. This is adding up. Yes, okay, this is adding up to 15 and it's not 6, 9. So that's got to be 7, 8. So these two squares have got to be 6 and 9, and we can see the order. So that's 9, that's 6, that's 6, that's 9, that's 9, that's 8. And suddenly we get a flurry of digits. Oh, and now we can work out what this domino adds up to, because we know those 4 squares. So those 4 squares are 1, 1, 3, 4, and 5, which is 13. Oh, yeah, that's right. So that's 13. So this must be 6, 7, which means that must be 8, 9. Let's get rid of the corner pencil marks. So these squares are adding up to 17 now. 17 and 13 is 30. So these have to add up to 15 on this side, which we can see actually. Look, we've got a 7, 8 pair. Oh, and look at that. We don't get the same potency here. At the top, we had this beautiful arrangement between this domino, on the right, sorry, we had this domino pointing at this domino. Here, we don't have the same luxury. So although this is a 7, 8 pair, it might be possible for that to be a 7, 8 pair as well. Oh, yeah, no, in fact, this is not a 7, 8 pair, because look, we've got a 7 here and a 7 here, so the 7 in row 1 has to be in one of those 3 cells, and in fact therefore has to live in the corner of the grid. So now we know that these 2 squares add up to 15, but don't include a 7, they also don't include an 8, and this is a 6, 9 pair. And that square gets oranged as a result. And there must be an 8 in one of these 2 cells. Now, what does this mean is the next question we need to ask. We know one of these is blue, one of these is 8. Ah, that now can't be a 6. So that one is definitely blue. So we've now got 3 blues in row 4. And 4 blues in column 6. Right. There's got to be a 7 in one of those 2 cells. These are blue, white dotted digits. Okay, I can't see what to do with those. Can we do... Can we do any more Sudoku somehow? I'm not sure that we're going to be able to. And how are we ever going to disambiguate these digits at the top? I'm thinking these dominoes, they can only be disambiguated from here. So is it this black dot that's going to do it? Is that what we have to think about? 6, 7. Or maybe it's... Oh, okay, that's quite interesting. Yeah, this is interesting. Where does 8 go in box 4? Now, I think, because we've already got 8s in boxes 1 and 7, the 8 has to go in one of those 3 squares, so it's in this domino. We know that this triple here has to add up to 15 because of the equal sums rule. So there is an 8 in this domino, but there is no high digit in here as well, is there? There can't be a 9 as well, because 8 plus 9 is already 17. So this domino is made up of a blue digit and an 8. And if that's true, well, that means a few things. It means that we have to put a 9 over here. I'm not sure if we can resolve that. But I'm thinking now, can I get the black dot at the bottom of column 1? Because I've now, in this column, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 blue digits. So this has the same property as this one. This cannot be 2 blue digits. So it's, oh, I see, yeah, in fact, this is beautiful. This is a 3-6 pair, isn't it? And that's going to disambiguate. Yes, I understand. Yes. So, because this string of digits is precisely made up of 2 blues and an orange, this can't be double blue. So it can't be 1 and 2. It can't be 2 and 4. It can't be 4 and 8, because the 8's gone in the box. So it has to be 3-6. And once it's 3-6, look, that square becomes a 9. That becomes a 6, that becomes a 9, that becomes an 8, 8, 7, 7, 6 all go into the grid. And we know that this is an 8 plus 2 digits that add up to 7, which are not 1, 6 and 3, 4. So we now actually know what those digits are. They are 2, 5 and 8, with this not being an 8. So these two squares have to be 1 and 4 to complete the column. We don't know the order of this 3-6, I don't think, although we may do, but I'm not immediately seeing how we know that. Oh, I've got a 2 here, so that's a 5. Okay, so that's become a 2-8 pair. These squares are now known. They're a 1, 3, 4 triple. So that square is a 2 or a 5, which means this square, which is on the white dot with it, is either 1, 3 or 4. And that is remarkably unhelpful. Oh dear. But okay, we do now know what these 4 digits are now, though. They've got to be 1, 3, 4 and 9, which I hope to goodness add up to 17, and they do. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, there's a 6 there. So that's 6, that's 7, that's 7, that's 8. So that's 8 by Sudoku. That gets us another orange digit. This must be a blue digit. Oh, look, you can't put 9 here, because that would be next to an 8 on the white dot, and there's already an 8 in column 4. So that is a low digit, which is almost very... Oh, no, that's that's beautiful again. That is so beautiful. Look at this row now. So now this is a blue digit. This can't be an orange digit because it can't be a 6, because it has to be consecutive with a digit as high as 4. So this digit here and this digit are both blue, and that means we've got 5 blues in row 4. So all the rest of them are orange, and that's just going to tell us this has to be 9, because 1, 3 and 4 are blue. That has to be 8, this has to be 2, and therefore it gets blued. So that digit is a 6 or a 7. Just looking at the row. Oh, I see. In fact, all of those digits now have to be oranged, don't they? We can get rid of 9s from the options here. Those get blued. And we're really making progress towards oranging fully and bluing fully the grid. Oh, yeah, look, 9, 8 in the central box can't go in that square. So they're a pair there. So that's got to be 6 or 7. 1, 2. And we've got 5 blues in this column, so those have got to be orange. And those have got to be consecutive as well. So these can't be 9, 8 because that will break that square, and they can't be 6, 7 because that will break that square. So they can't, yes, okay, so there cannot be a 6 on this white dot, and there cannot be a 9 on this white dot, so it must be a 7, 8 pair. That's beautiful. That's just beautiful. So that square's a 9, that square's an 8, that square's a 6, and that square's a 7. Oh, hang on, 8 there. No, sorry, that was a misclick or a mistype. And so that's a 7 and that's a 6. And all of everything above row 8, we've done everything we can in terms of high digits. 1, 3, 4 here, so this has to be a 2 or a 5. So, oh no, that can still be all options still in play for this digit. Still can be 1, 3 or 4, I think. There must be a 5 in this domino. Let's put that in case it helps us. No, I don't see what that's doing. These squares here are 1, 3, 4 and 5. So we've got a 1, 3, 4 triple. That's weird, isn't it? It's very strange. Because, I mean, the blue digits, they all have to get disambiguated at the top of the grid. And yet, there really doesn't seem to be many easy ways of doing that. Oh, right, we have got a low digit here, which is a 4, going with a 2. So those 3 low digits must be 1, 3 and 5. No, that's totally useless. Can we do the 3 and the 6? No, we can't. Can we? No. What on earth do we do now? Maybe we've got to go back to high digits then. 9 has to be in one of those 2 squares. We've still got 6 and 9 to put in. So 6 is down here. 9 is down there. Oh no, so we've now fully pencil marked the high digits. This is very peculiar. Okay, right, here is something though. This puzzle is just, it keeps giving. Just even now when we look like we finished it, look, there's an X string of 9s there. Now that is very interesting, because that means that the grey line has got a 9 on it somewhere, because you can't not have a 9 here and here, or you'd end up with 2 9s in row 9. So there's either a 9 here, or there's a 9 here. But that means that the minimum total we're looking for this line would be a 9 here and a 1 here. That would be the minimum we could put on. If that's a 9, it gets higher still. We could go 9, 1, 2. And that would be 12, but 9 plus 1 is 10, and that's the minimum. And that places the 7 in box 9 of all things, because we've got used up our high digits, 9, 6 and 8 in those squares. So if 7 was here, how would we make that total add up to at least 10, using only blue digits? 5 plus 4 is only 9, it won't be enough. So that's impossible, it doesn't work. So that's got to be 7. Which means we get the 7 and the 8, we get the 8 and the 4. We can colour these in, and we are going to do that. So now We know we're going for at least 10, so this digit here can't be 1 or 2 or 4. That's 3 or 5. Right, this is beautiful, isn't it? So this line here and this line either add up to 10 or 12. So, yeah, so now we should ask the same question about box 7. How is the 9 off the line? If the 9 is off the line, again we have the problem of adding 2 blue digits up to a double digit total, which is nonsense. You can't do it. 6, 7 and 8 have gone. So if you don't use a high digit there on this line, you've definitely got 2 blue digits. So the 9 must go on the line there, which means that's off the line in box in the other box, box 8. So those get oranged. That's definitely not 9. And this square, oh yeah, okay, so now we know this square, because this total, well, let's think about the nature of this digit. Because these 2 digits add up to the same as those 2 digits, this digit is exactly 2 less than this digit, because 7 is exactly 2 less than 9. So this digit here has to be 1 or 3, and it can't be 3, there's a 3 in its box, so it has to be 1. We are looking to get towards a total of 10, therefore this square is a 3, that's a 3, that's a 6, that's a 6. I'll tell you this is one of the most brilliant puzzles I've seen in a long time. It's just absolutely great, this. Now this is a 1, 2, 5 triple. That's definitely blue. So we get a W pentomino of bluage in box 9. That 1 is lovely. Look, that's getting us a 4 here and a 1 up there. So these two... Oh, hang on, I made that the wrong colour. People will be shouting at me like nobody's business. Sorry. I can still make it a 1, but it's definitely got to be blue. These 2 squares are a 2, 5 pair. Now I've still got the grey line to use in this box. I've got to make these 2 squares add up to 4 because I've got a 6 here. So this is a 1, 3 pair, and we know the order. So that's a 3, that's a 1. So that's a 1 by Sudoku. We've got a 2, 5 pair left in both of these boxes. Look, these 2 squares have got to be a 2, 5 pair then by Sudoku, and that square in the corner has to be a 4 by Sudoku, which means that is not a 4, that is not a 3, and that is not a 1, and that is not a 1. These white dots have got some job to do now to finish this from here. 3 by Sudoku must be in one of those 2 squares in box 2. Oh, look, I've got a 1 here, so that's a 3, 5 pair. 3, 5, so these squares have got to be 1, 2. Oh, I see, yeah, that works. So these squares have got to be 1, 2 and 4, but these 2 are consecutive. So they are a 1, 2 pair, and that gets us a 4 at the top of the grid, which is beautiful because that puts a 4 on the stem of the T in box number 2, which looks down here, which gets us 1, 3, 4 all filled in. That places the 3 up here. Places the 1 up there as well, actually, I'm just seeing. So these 2 squares are now a 2, 5 pair in row 1. That gives us a 2, 5 pair down here. So this is a 3 or a 4. Which must be nearly doing something. Oh, the 1, 2 pair is seeing the bottom of the grid. So that's 5, that's 2, that's 2, that's 5, that's 2, that's 5. These 2 squares are a 2, 4 pair. And these 2 squares don't include a 1 anymore. And, oh, so if that's, no, that could still be either. It could still be 3 or 4 and work with this digit. So there's still more to be revealed here. We must be about to finish, I think, but we still haven't finished. So these squares are a 3, 4, 5. Oh, I see. So now if we look along row 3, there's a 3, 4, 5 triple. So that must be 2. That must be 4. That must be 1. And that must be 2. and therefore this square is a 3 or a 5. Oh, I see, and we must have an even digit on any white Kropki dot must have an even digit on it. So the even digit on this one, given this is odd, has got to be the 4, which gets us a 3, the 4. This becomes a 1-3 pair, and now we can't touch this with 5. Good grief. So this is 2, this is 5, this is 4. That's 5, that's 2. 4 comes out of all of those cells. 2 can still go with the 1 or the 3, so that's a little... Oh, this has got to be a 3 though now. So that's 3, that's 1, that's 1, that's 3, that's 5, 5, 3, and that should be a 5. And then we click tick and we hope that we have done the puzzle correctly. That is magnificent. Absolutely first class. 10 out of 10 puzzle. Nahelian, take a bow. And we should be genuflecting before you, frankly, my friend, because that puzzle was sensationally good. From start to finish, there wasn't a single piece of the logic in that was stale or anything. It was just all gorgeous. Wow. If we ever make another book, that puzzle has to go in it, please. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks to Nahelian for providing me with 46 minutes of joy, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.